Welcome everyone. My name is Bernie Pelletier. I serve on the Sustainable West Hartford Commission. That commission is a volunteer commission in town, and we focus on bringing the town, the schools, the residents, and the businesses of West Hartford programs that make them more energy efficient and introduce them to renewable energy. In order to do that, we work with partners across the state and here in town. You see some of their logos here on this slide. And at the commission, we like to say that partnership makes it possible. We're very fortunate here in town to have an energy coordinator on staff with the town, who is also our liaison to the town for the commission. And I would like to introduce you to Catherine Deviney, who is that person. Catherine.
Thanks, Bernie. So as Bernie mentioned, my name is Catherine Deviney. I'm a part-time employee for the town. I work in the Plant and Facilities Department, and I not only track the utility bills and energy use of both the town buildings and the schools, but I'm also involved in all the energy efficiency projects and renewable energy projects that the town of West Hartford does. So we wanted to make sure that you have contact information for both the Sustainable West Hartford Commission that Bernie is a part of, as well as my contact information at the town, should you have any questions about what the town is doing or some of the energy efficiency programs that we're going to be talking about here today. So in my role as energy specialist for the town, I utilize the Energize Connecticut and energy efficiency programs that our utilities provide all the time, whether it's from buying light bulbs and getting instant rebates on them, small capital improvement projects, all the way up to complicated HVAC replacements and windows replacement projects. So the utilities do track the businesses and municipalities who use these programs, and we have a chart which shows kind of the West Hartford's participation in these programs over the years. This includes projects that the town has done, but also local businesses in town. And as you can see, since COVID, actually, there's been quite a large drop-off in the number of projects that have been done through the Energize Connecticut programs, especially in the business and municipal area. So we thought it would be very beneficial to kind of try and spur some more activity in this area by providing some information out to local businesses about how you can participate.
Thank you, Catherine. And that takes us to our speaker today. Christina D'Amato works for Energy Resources USA. She is one of several contractors who participate in this energy efficient program for the state. We asked her to speak about the programs that are available to West Hartford businesses. On a legal note, we want to say the town can't and won't recommend any particular contractor, but we are very pleased to have Christina talk to us in general about the programs, and we always encourage businesses to do their own research. You can do that at the web link that you see on the screen, energizect.com. So Christina, I'd like to turn it over to you to see what you can tell our businesses here in town to help them get started, to help make that graph that Catherine spoke of before a little happier graph with big bars instead of small bars. Sure. Christina, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me today. So I work for Energy Resources. We are an authorized contractor of the Energize CT programs and work alongside the sponsors of those programs, so Eversource, UI, and the smaller utilities in the state of Connecticut. But essentially, the Energize Connecticut programs is an initiative of the Energy Efficiency Fund, the Connecticut Green Bank, the state, and your local electric and gas utilities. The initiative is funded through a surcharge on all of our electric bills. So if you look at the slide, I highlighted in red that one line item that takes that funding and creates the Connecticut Energy Efficiency Fund, which is a wonderful opportunity for businesses, residents to tap into these programs and leverage this funding to make efficiency upgrades in their facilities, how Catherine has done here for the town of West Hartford.
So if I can just jump in there for a second, Christina, you mentioned utility bills and the surcharge which goes towards funding some of these programs. Just a fun fact for people out there, the town of West Hartford actually pays over 130 different utility bills for all of our town buildings and our schools buildings. So you can imagine paying 130 bills a month. We pay quite a lot into this fund. Everyone pays into this fund, but the town of West Hartford's share, we pay quite a bit into this fund. So we like to participate on a high level in these programs to get our money back out.
And just to echo that, that is what I say to businesses on a daily basis. You're paying into this program, get that money back, right? You have an opportunity to have an energy assessment done at your facility and identify available opportunities that are there, and maximize these incentive dollars and get some funding back out of that Connecticut Energy Efficiency Fund.
And lower your bill at the end of
Lower
it.
your bill is the goal, yes.
At your energy use.
Yeah, so as an authorized contractor, Energy Resources in particular, we serve as a comprehensive turnkey energy efficiency company. So when we're going in to look at a facility, we are looking at everything. It's not specific to lighting or weatherization. We're looking at the whole building and seeing how we can maximize the opportunity there. So yes, we're looking at lighting, but we're also looking at, like I said, weatherization, HVAC equipment, if we can add controls to any of the equipment that you're using, if you're a manufacturing facility, what those processes are, if you're using process heat, if there's equipment that we can insulate. We are looking at your commercial refrigeration equipment. The list goes on and on. There's just so many opportunities to conserve energy within a space. And one thing beautiful about the program is that there are these authorized contractors out there that businesses can lean on to have an assessment done, garner this information, and make decisions about how they can reduce their energy consumption, and in the end, as Catherine said, try and reduce their operating expenses. So the slide kind of goes over all of those opportunities high level, but a few fun facts, like with lighting, we call that the low-hanging fruit. The LED light bulbs that are out now use more than half the wattage of fluorescent bulbs. So whenever I see a business that is still using fluorescent lighting, that's like nails on a chalkboard for me now. I want to run in and just be like, no, you could save so much money and the program is going to help you pay for that. But there's so many other measures that fall into that bucket. Another being refrigeration optimization. You can reduce its energy usage by about 30%. Again, with rooftop units, there's controls that you can add to that as well. But all of these things, it all adds up, and I'm sure Catherine can speak to that, of the benefits that West Hartford has had by implementing some of these measures within their buildings.
And Christina, there are lots of talented contractors, electricians and so forth in the state of Connecticut. Perhaps some of the businesses here in town use them, but to be an authorized contractor is a relatively select group, and in order to access these programs, you have to be an authorized contractor, yes?
That is correct. So you could call your local HVAC vendor or your local electrician, but if they're not an authorized contractor of the programs, then they are unable to leverage the incentives available through the Connecticut Energy Efficiency Fund. There's a difference between getting a rebate and getting the full incentives that are available through certain programs. There's a lot that happens on the back ends, but again, a reason to reach out to an authorized contractor to understand how those programs work and how you can maximize the opportunity that exists.
Thank you.
So I'm going to speak briefly just to the process, how this whole program works. You can either go, as Bernie said, onto the Energize Connecticut website, and there's information there, or you can reach out directly to an authorized contractor like Energy Resources and schedule an energy assessment for your facility. In the commercial program, those assessments are at no cost to the business. There's no obligation to install any of the measures that might be identified. But until you have that assessment done, we won't be able to identify what opportunity exists there. A lot of the programs are referred to in business terms, the Small Business Energy Advantage Program, but I do like to point out that through the commercial side, it is any facility that is not a residential property. So that includes churches, nonprofits, municipalities, healthcare facilities, farms, you name it. It is any organization out there that can use these programs. So step one is really just calling an authorized contractor to set up that assessment at your facility. I generally ask folks to set aside a few hours to walk us through. It's really unlocking doors and looking at the whole building. From there, we're able to gather information and take that back to our team, which is able to do an energy analysis on the information that they've collected. So in-house, we have a team of certified energy managers, we have engineers on staff, electricians that are going through and really dissecting the opportunities there and coming up with their analysis. After our team finishes that energy analysis, step 3 is coming back out to review those results with the customer. So we will come with a proposal that details all of the opportunities that are there, and also give an overview of all the available utility incentives and financing options that you can potentially leverage to implement those upgrades within your facility. Once the customer makes decisions about what they may or may not want to do, we will move forward with the proposal, sign paperwork, and then that will move the project into installation. So when you work with the authorized contractors, many it's turnkey, that then our team will go in and actually install said measures that were identified. Our team comes in, we install all of the new equipment, we recycle and dispose everything that was there prior. We manage the whole utility interaction, so all the paperwork that has to happen on the back end. We have our own project managers on site overseeing the installation. So kind of all of this to say that the whole process is quite seamless. I really try to encourage businesses. It can be something that kind of sits in the back of your minds, like, oh, I should have an energy assessment done, but I just don't have time for that right now. When in reality, all the workload is on the authorized contractor that's coming in to service you. We really just need that 1, 2, maybe 3 hours on the front end to walk through and gather the information we need for the analysis. And then paperwork-wise, we need a copy of your electric bill and your fuel bill. There may be some other things that we need to gather along the way, but the lift is not heavy on the side of the business. And then the contractor is really handling everything else on the back end, and the result of that is you getting upgrades in your facility and reaping the benefits of that program.
Christina, it sounds to me like a wonderful opportunity. You almost get like an energy scorecard for your business, right? And you put in their hands potential projects, potential energy savings, payback, so that the owner or the business owner is really in control and can really drive this process. I have a question though. Here in town, some businesses own their facilities, but many people lease their facilities or rent them. If I'm a renter or a lessor of a facility, can you still help me?
Yes, that's a great question. The individual that can leverage the program is the one that's holding the electric bill. So if you are leasing a property, as long as you are getting the electric bill, you're the one that's able to sign up for the no-cost assessment. That being said, if you are in a facility and say the landlord is including your utilities in with your rent, but there are upgrades that you need to make in that space, I'm happy to work with both the landlord and the tenant and explain the programs, and the opportunities are there, and there's ways to navigate that and come to an agreement with your landlord. But at the end of the day, if they are including your utilities in with your rent, any upgrades that you're making in that space to conserve energy is not only helping you as the business that's in that space, but it's also making an impact on that space for the landlord. So typically folks are happy to work together, and often when they don't know about the programs, it's a wonderful educational opportunity, not just for the business, but for the landlord as well.
Perfect. You have a case study for us?
Thank you, Bernie. Yes, I put together a case study to just show the impact that this program can have. This is a case study from House of Bread in Hartford, Connecticut. They are a homeless shelter and soup kitchen that has a commercial kitchen, so a lot of equipment going in the background, their dining room, showers. There's a lot of activity happening within this space. So we went in there, and the measures that we were able to identify was upgrading lighting to LED, putting in low-flow faucet aerators and shower heads, adding controls to their commercial refrigeration to optimize those units, and also adding controls to their rooftop units. As you can see on this slide, the project cost was just under $50,000. Eversource contributed almost half of that cost, leveraging funds from that surcharge on your bill. The savings from the project was just under $7,000, and one of the beautiful additional benefits through the program is a 0% on-bill repayment. So House of Bread was able to take that opportunity to keep their electric bill cash flow neutral to cash flow positive. It cost them nothing out of pocket to make these upgrades. After 3 years of them doing the on-bill repayment for the net cost of the project, they will be saving that full $7,000 a year. So when you think about a nonprofit organization, $7,000 a year, I mean, for House of Bread, that is additional meals that they can put on the table to service their clients. That is potentially a part-time employee coming to help. Just the benefits that presents to the organization
It's real.
real.
And what's so amazing about this is that even though the equipment and the work costs money, it actually will reduce the energy consumption and the associated cost to the degree where, while you're in payback mode, you're able to maintain most of the time a neutral bill, as you put it. But then after that, you just have ongoing savings that will be 15 years, as long as the refrigeration controls last. It's a win-win, really.
It is.
And the other thing that demonstrates there is when you bundle these measures together, you're able to use really what you called before low-hanging fruit measures like lighting, which yields lots of savings, to finance measures that have a longer payout, but because you're coupling them with something like a low-hanging fruit lighting measure, it is cash flow positive in 3 years. That's a wonderful story for a wonderful company as well, or a wonderful nonprofit.
Yeah, thank you. And I'll add to that, it's worthwhile to reach out to an energy service company that is comprehensive, like Energy Resources is, because some of these programs within the utility, you're able to garner higher incentives if you're doing a comprehensive project. So it's wise to at least identify all the opportunities that exist, and again, just maximize the program to your benefit.
And Catherine, when you do work in town, you do the same thing. You've worked on lighting, but you work on everything else, right?
We do. The programs that the town uses are slightly different. We might follow a different path because we're a large municipality, so we have some custom programs available to us. But whether it's your utility account representative or an authorized contractor, they can help you navigate which program you're eligible for. One thing I wanted to come back to, Christina, was lest we scare anyone off, I know we all want people to go all the way through the process and implement multiple energy efficiency measures, obviously, to reduce their energy use and garner all those savings you were talking about. But this program is a starting point as well, right? You're not obligated to implement those measures. So the important thing is to take that first step to get the energy assessment done so that then you're in control of making those decisions, whether you decide to proceed with just lighting or a more comprehensive project. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. One of the things that I like to say is reach out early and reach out often. Obviously, you're not going to replace mechanical equipment if it's functioning for you. That's a large capital expense. So you might have an energy assessment done where lighting and refrigeration controls are identified, and then in 4 years realize, oh, my mechanical equipment is coming end of life. Well, reach out again to a contractor and see if there's opportunities out there. And also think when you're making these decisions, what's the most efficient path forward, right? I think a lot of times we pick up the phone and we call the person we've been calling for the past 15 years, but it's worth taking the time to research current technologies and thinking about cost of ownership over time, right? Which is when you can really lean on the certified energy managers within the program to help guide those decisions. The programs are also constantly evolving. So something that was incentivized 10 years ago may not be being incentivized anymore, where now a new technology is. So last year, or maybe it was the year before, time goes by so quick, but they started incentivizing heat pumps. That wasn't something that was in the program a few years ago. So it's good to reach out early and reach out often. If you're ever having an issue, if you are looking to make an upgrade in your facility, I wonder if there's any incentive out there for that. It's worth the phone call. Again, there's no cost and no obligation through the program, so it's really a resource that's there for businesses in Connecticut to lean on and be smart about their energy choices.
Christina, on behalf of the Sustainable West Hartford Commission, I really want to thank you. I think for businesses that have the opportunity to view this, hopefully they will do just what you said, pick up the phone, take a step in the right direction, save some money, save some energy, help the planet, help their business.
Do good, feel good.
Do good, feel good, exactly.
One other little tidbit I'll just share to put this a little bit in context. I said one of my responsibilities as the energy specialist for the town is I track the energy use of the town's facilities. Well, we also get data from the utilities about the energy use of the town of West Hartford, the community as a whole, including the residences, businesses, and municipality. And when you do the calculations, municipal operations, so the town and school energy use is less than 5% of the town's total energy use. So the town is utilizing these programs to help fund and reduce our energy use. But again, that's less than 5% of our community's energy use. So we're really hoping that some of the businesses in town and residents as well will take advantage of these programs too.
And we like to call that the town is leading by example. They are doing some cooking and they're eating their own cooking and sharing it with the rest of the town's residents and businesses. So thank you very much. Christina, I hope everybody looking at this is interested in picking up the phone and joining us on this energy adventure. I want to give viewers one other opportunity. The commission meets once a month. You are welcome, with the contact information that Catherine displayed earlier in the presentation, to reach out by email or phone, or to join us at a meeting, or to give us a topic to consider at our commission meeting. We're always looking for public participation, whether it be from a resident or from a business. The key, whether you're taking care of your own facility or is to get involved and take that first step. Hopefully we've given you that path to that first step. Thank you.